Why would you want to close a public beach? Why does the state of Florida want to close down public beaches? Why are public beaches like Bradenton Beach all of a sudden talking about let's get off of free parking and start charging people for parking spots? Florida's governor just about shut down the beaches in Miami Beach, and all of the beaches that are popular during spring break are being pretty much shut down by the state of Florida. Why would you want to shut down spring break? What is the real motive behind this war on spring break? Crime? There's plenty of crime in Florida and the state does nothing about it. Certainly that can't be the reason. Spring break has always been wild in Florida. Why all of a sudden now the change of attitude? Let's understand why the state of Florida wants to shut down spring break. The first question we're going to answer: what happens when you close down a public beach? When you close a public beach, the people that were going to go to that public beach will end up making hotel reservations at a beachside resort. Take Marco Island, Florida, where there are very few public beaches. Public parking spots usually fill up very quickly. As of March 15th, to stay at a beachside hotel on Marco Island today, on a Friday, will cost you upwards of $1,400. With taxes and fees, you're talking you're going to spend nearly $2,000 a night to stay at a beachside hotel in Marco Island. And why is a hotel on Marco Island going for so much money? Because the state governor of Florida has been shutting down public beaches. Other public beaches are having lengthy construction projects that just happen to be blocking public parking spots. But when they finish these construction projects, we find out that these free parking spaces are now by permit only or paid parking. This is what the state of Florida is really going after. See, if you're able to close down public beaches, people are still going to want to go to the beach. Their only option is to end up in the hands of a private entity like a hotel. Who taught these people this evil tactic? This is something the state of Florida learned during coronavirus. See, during coronavirus, when Miami Beach shut down their beaches due to the virus, the beaches of Southwest Florida got flooded with spring breakers, which had never existed here. Because Miami Beach was closed, we got flooded with spring breakers. And the hotels found out, hey, we can charge as much money as we want. These kids are going to pay for it. I woke up this morning and I opened up my phone, and every single article that showed up on my phone was about shootings at the beach, people dying at the beach, people drowning at the beach, fights at the beach. Guys, the state of Florida has thousands of miles of coastline, 825 miles of sandy coastline along the state of Florida. And these are the most popular places to be anywhere in the state. Forget about the theme parks, forget about downtowns. Beaches are the places where people gather. These types of events happen in Florida every single day. But why are these events newsworthy now? Why is it all of a sudden newsworthy that a sheriff arrested somebody on the beach with a gun? This happens in Florida every single day. But why is it all of a sudden front page news? And why are these media companies all of a sudden so focused on crime along the beaches of Florida? It's because they're getting paid to do so. Who benefits from closing down public beaches? Beachside hotels and resorts are able to charge exorbitant amount of money the moment public beaches are closed. A tactic that they learned during coronavirus. And a few years later, they're trying to figure out how they can continue to cash in on the bountiful rewards of closing down public beaches. And what is the state of Florida? The state of Florida is closing down public parks and beaches that the public is entitled to enjoy to ensure that big corporations can make money from you. As we speak, Florida's top clowns are having a press conference telling people in New York and California that they need to move to Florida because it's safe here and they're going after criminals no matter what they have to do. But the reality is they're closing down our public beaches so that these big corporations can charge anything they want for their beachside resorts. They're lining their pockets at the expense of our public resources. HOA fees in Broward and Dade County are going up 500% as we speak. And what's Florida governor doing? Giving a press conference, making sure he's on Fox News so everybody can see his face. While the elderly retired people of Florida are trying to figure out where they're going to move to next because they're not able to afford the condos. Their entire life savings have been going down the drain thanks to Florida allowing insurance companies to jack up the rates as much as they want to. HOAs are completely out of control. And now if you want to go to the beaches are closed because we got to make sure that the hotels are full. Last year, they said that spring break was out of control on Fox News. You guys remember I went to Panama City Beach and it was completely quiet and normal. Everything that we saw in the news were clips from previous years. They're actually finding videos on the internet right now that they're claiming is what Florida spring break looks like in 2024. But people are tagging old videos and saying these are videos from many years ago. Dude, these news channels are literally grabbing news clips from several years ago and showing you those images, making you think that that's what's happening on Florida beaches right now when they're videos from previous years. It's not even from 2024. The point is just to scare people so when they close the beaches, people think the state of Florida is doing a great thing. No, you're not. These are public beaches. The public has the right to go in there and enjoy those beaches. And if somebody acts a fool on those beaches, you can go ahead and arrest them. You guys remember we did a live stream on Bradenton Beach and we had somebody that assaulted me. We got the police involved. You know what they told me? There's nothing we can do about it. In reality, when a crime actually happens on the beach, law enforcement doesn't give a crap about resolving those crimes on the beach. We've been assaulted in Fort Myers Beach by a homeless guy who headbutted me. Did I report it? No, but if I had, do you think they would have done something? Of course not. They don't give a crap about crime along the beach. The only reason they're making a news story out of this is because they have financial incentives. There's a lot of money to be made with closing these public beaches. Florida's getting to the point where you can't even go to the dang beach anymore unless you're rich and can afford to stay at one of their prime beachfront resorts. Those people can go to the beach, but the public, hey, we're screwed every single time. Florida's becoming a place where only the rich people can enjoy the beaches. Look at Fort Myers Beach. I'm glad Hurricane Ian destroyed that crap hole. And I can't feel bad for the people that passed away. They had evacuation orders and they didn't listen to them. These are cockroach-filled huts from the 60s and 70s. 90% of them are vacation rentals. These were not properties that were being used by homeowners. Fort Myers Beach was all vacation rentals. At one point, these were all single-family homes, beach homes. It was a beautiful place. They all became these vacation rentals. Crime was completely out of control on Fort Myers Beach. In fact, now Fort Myers is having a crime wave because all the crappery that went down on Fort Myers Beach is now happening in Fort Myers. Fort Myers Beach was a complete crap hole. Those were all vacation rentals. People coming in and out, partying, drinking the whole night. To live as a full-time resident on that island must have been a complete freaking nightmare. And the people that own those properties on Fort Myers Beach are crying, oh, my $5 million investment got wiped away and insurance only gave me $4 million. Screw you, dude. These vacation rentals were destroying Southwest Florida, and all the coast of Fort Myers Beach was exclusively for the rich people. Do you know that Fort Myers Beach was trying to get people arrested for walking on the beach? These rich people in Fort Myers Beach were trying to say that their property lines go all the way out to the Gulf of Mexico and people couldn't even walk along the beach behind their houses because it was private property. These people in Fort Myers Beach were literally saying that they own the beach hundreds of meters behind their houses. But you know what? Now, a year and a half later, you couldn't pay me to go to Fort Myers Beach. They still got dead bodies, horses, cars, and gallons of paint, furniture floating along the side of the beach. A year and a half later, now the whales are dying. They've never seen anything like this in Southwest Florida. The whales are dying, the sawfish are dying, the groupers are dying. They're getting these neurological issues and they're dying because there's so much contamination in the water from Hurricane Ian. Every single one of these beachfront houses had 80 to 100 gallons of paint in their garage. Chemicals, miracle spray, ant killer, insect killer, wasp spray. Have you stepped foot into these rich people's garages on Fort Myers Beach? Every single one of those houses had 80 to 100 gallons of chemicals in their freaking garage for every type of thing you could think of. Those chemicals are now sitting at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. That's why we're getting freaking whales that live hundreds of miles in the ocean dying. The rich people wanted to have the beach all to themselves. But you know what? They've contaminated and destroyed the beach so much that now you couldn't give it away to other people. You don't have to worry about people wanting to go to your beaches now, Fort Myers Beach. You know why? Because when you go to the beach and you find a whole freaking couch floating in the middle of the ocean, you're pretty much never going to go there again. You think it's normal for a freaking sperm whale to die in Venice Beach, Florida? Get the crap out of here. Those are the car batteries. Those are the gallons of paint. All the chemicals that people had in their garages. The hundreds of thousands of cars that were underneath the water. All that is what's killing the fish. They've already found over 20 endangered sawfish dead along the coast of the Florida Keys. Now we got a freaking sperm whale in Venice Beach, Florida. Do you think these things are just happening by chance? It's all the contamination that's in the water. We recently went to the Florida Keys, and let me tell you, I literally cried when I saw the Florida Keys. All the mangroves along the Florida Keys are now homeless camps, and they defecate and urinate and throw their garbage and crack pipes into the freaking ocean. And now the Florida Keys look like a freaking landfill. Does that make national headlines? No, it doesn't. I'm the only person that's done a video about that so far. Oh, but don't forget to move to Florida. We're safe. We're better than New York. We're better than California. We're not going to be coming to California. No, stupid. California is going to be coming to Florida at this point. And then you got all these stupid idiots that have never been to California because they can't afford to travel. And if they do travel, they're too stupid to travel where they want to. They travel where Fox News tells them they're allowed to travel to. And they've never seen California. And they spend their whole lives on there. The real reason that the state of Florida is trying to shut down these public beaches isn't because of crime. If that was the case, they'd have to shut the whole freaking state down at this point. The reason that they're shutting down these public beaches is because they learned during coronavirus that there's a crap load of money to be made with closing public beaches. And they've had a rough run. They had Hurricane Ian. They had the red tide. They had coronavirus. So what if kids are getting drunk and fighting along the beaches? This has been happening in Florida for decades. There's a lot more important things that are happening in Florida right now that actually deserve attention that aren't getting the attention because there's no money to be made in it. We were recently on the Florida Keys and we had a group of young kids approach us and offer us on camera stuff for sale. And then I thought, well, if the law doesn't do anything about it, what is there to be afraid of? So it's not like Florida's this crime-free haven. Oh, we would never. Shut up, dude. You know, like you go to Miami Beach or the Keys, and these guys, they'll sell you stuff on camera because they know how ineffective law enforcement is, that there's nothing for them to worry about. You guys remember when I did my walking tour of the Tenderloin in San Francisco? and the dealers on the corner saw that I was recording. What did they do? They screamed, "This guy's got a camera," and they ran away. They were scared of getting arrested. But these guys here in Florida aren't afraid of getting arrested. It's like they're trying to portray that Florida is this crime-free haven, and, oh, we can't have people fighting on. Shut up, dude. You got people that have been selling stuff here so blatantly, they're not even afraid to do it on camera. Get the crap out of here, man. You know there's something fishy about this story because it's clearly the level of hypocrisy. All of a sudden you care about spring breakers. Really? You don't care about the homeless camps? You don't care about how high the OD rates are in Florida? You don't care about the fact that there's freaking needles everywhere in some of these places in Florida? None of that matters. It's spring breakers. You know there's something fishy about it because it doesn't add up. It's hypocrisy. It's clear.